Welcome back, YouTube. So I wanted to create this video to do a follow-up on a video that I mentioned a very important topic on a few days ago. And I was stating that it's more than likely we're going to have a run up after the first quarter, probably around Q2. And I was looking at some of the data, and I can actually make a case for that even just off of the last couple of years historically. And typically the thing is we do have a increase in price around April. So much so, typically, whether that's due to pivots of the Fed and or just the volatility of the asset here, specifically with Dogecoin, I know the market kind of reacts in unison. But we'll see even last year in 2022, when we were pretty much on this downward trend, it broke trend to establish a higher high in April. And if you remember, this was the initial time frame of the big run up as well back in 2021. So this is going to be really the third year, and we can really build data on this if this holds true for this year if we have an upward tick. So I guess the biggest question is, how much of an upward tick can we expect? And let's take a look here. And if we look here and we say, okay, well, typically the time frame and the amount as far as that we have like the upward tick, if we say that, okay, we're looking at around like a 10 cent, 10, 15 cent. If we're holding that 10 cent mark and saying that this is on average, then even at the current levels, let's say if we're even down here at around 7, this does put us in range to actually hit retest this level up here at around the 17 to 20 cent range. And this is just us at this current range here. This is just if this holds true for April. Now, I don't make a lot of videos like this because I don't want to, put hopium or anything out there, but this is a very interesting trend here. I know that we have more data available on assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff like that. But this will definitely be something, a huge turning point to kind of look for with Dogecoin in April. So I definitely think this is something we should keep our eye on to see if this is a trend that kind of holds true for the third year in a row. And this does open the case for Bitcoin as well. Let's take a look. And the reason I say this is for Dogecoin, if you take a look here at Bitcoin, you'll see last April you did have somewhat of a rejection, but not to the extent of creating a higher high. It kind of remained on its downward trajectory. We got some rejections here, and it continued on its downward trajectory here. And we can go back a step further, and we'll see in April you had a run last year, but it still didn't do in higher high. You got more of a reaction out of Dogecoin. But we did see here, we did have somewhat of a run on the initial year, but I guess in the peak of the bull market, you had an initial increase in price. But for the last year, that didn't remain true. While Dogecoin, it remained true for both years. So it had somewhat of an influence, but it didn't quite break above that previous level. So this is more so for Doge than for Bitcoin, but we could very well see the retest here of some higher levels because Bitcoin is still fine here at around this 21 mark, 20,000 mark roughly. So I would like to see a retest, obviously of around the 22, and then of course it'll be really pivotal at this 25 mark. But that's we're a little ways off from that because once we get here, then we're gonna have to throw a lot of the previous trajectories out of the window and do some regrouping for the crypto market, especially if Bitcoin is able to hold such a number. But again, don't want to make a hopium video. I just kind of want to put that out there so that we can get an idea and just kind of have something to look to as we build data. Because the biggest thing with Doge compared to a lot of these other crypto is we're still building a lot of data out because this will be basically like the third year that we're able to kind of compare data year over year and kind of see how it responds. That's going to be the biggest thing because in 2021 we couldn't really do that. In 2022 we had some data, but it wasn't, didn't have multiple years to kind of stack it and do like an overlay and say, okay, well, typically around this time here's the average amount of days, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But now we can make a case for that. So that's why I kind of wanted to bring this to everyone's attention so that we can kind of keep an eye on it together for April. That's all I have for the update here. Wanted to put that out there so that we can see, but more than likely, if this does work itself out, we should be seeing something around 17 to 20 cent for Dogecoin, unless we get some major news or something catastrophic before then. But even if we kind of hang out around these levels here, we should on average expect around a 10 cent return if we hold true to the previous 2 cycles, like that average in April. So that'll certainly be something to kind of measure up as we work through the third year of the cycles. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and check out Moomoo, where you can get up to 15 free stocks when you open an account. I have a link down in the description section. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.